The cameras were rolling, the lights were blinding, and the air inside the studio was thick with tension. No one could have predicted that a moment meant to be a simple exchange would ignite into one of the most unforgettable live television showdowns in modern history. Judge John Roberts, known for his calm judicial temperament, suddenly broke character and screamed across the table at Senator John Kennedy. The audience gasped, the producers froze, and millions of viewers at home leaned in closer. What Kennedy did next, cold, unflinching, and with words that echoed beyond the studio, would go viral and leave people talking for weeks. It all began with an interview set up under the banner of National Conversations, a special program designed to bridge America's deepening political divides. The producers believed bringing together Judge Roberts, a figure of authority in law, with Senator Kennedy, known for his sharp wit and plain-spoken style, would create engaging but respectful dialogue. But no one knew the fault lines beneath the surface were already ready to erupt. The discussion started calmly enough, with questions on the Constitution, judicial independence, and the responsibilities of lawmakers. But as Kennedy pressed with a question about accountability in the justice system, his words direct, his tone unyielding, Roberts grew visibly uncomfortable. The judge leaned forward, his jaw tightening, his voice rising. He accused Kennedy of disrespecting the courts, of undermining faith in the law, of turning national discourse into a spectacle. Then, in a burst of anger completely unlike his reputation, Roberts slammed his hand against the table and shouted, his voice echoing across the studio. "You have no right to question the integrity of this institution in this manner." The crowd gasped. Some clapped nervously, others sat in shocked silence. Even the host struggled to regain control, fumbling with cue cards as if words could calm the storm that had just erupted. And there was Kennedy. Unmoved. He didn't flinch. He didn't raise his voice in return. Instead, he leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable, and waited. The pause stretched long enough to make everyone uneasy. Then, in the calmest, coldest voice, he said, "Judge, when the people lose the right to ask hard questions of power, we lose the very foundation of this nation. You don't scare me, and you don't silence the people I represent." The silence that followed was deafening. Roberts looked stunned, as though the words had cut deeper than the loudest scream ever could. The crowd erupted, some in applause, others murmuring in disbelief. The host tried to steer the conversation forward, but the dynamic had shifted forever. Kennedy's response had landed with a gravity that made Roberts' outburst look petty and uncontrolled. That moment spread like wildfire online. Clips flooded social media within minutes, with captions like, "Kennedy's cold response shuts it down," and "T.